Hello, I'm Cara Stanford, and this is the Marketing Spaces. Let's make some space today to think about Christmas, more specifically, what's in your marketing plan for Christmas. First of all, make a decision. Are you going to do any marketing related to Christmas? Are you going to do anything that hinges on Christmas? Yes, no. No is a feasible answer. You might decide it's not appropriate for your organization. You might decide you don't have the time or the resources. It might not be appropriate for your audience. Make that decision. Make it now and stick to it would be my advice. There's nothing worse than going, no, we're not going to do anything. And then kind of mid-November going, actually, we want to do some Christmas marketing. So think it through now if yes, no is an option. When you come to marketing at Christmas time, same as any other time of the year, think which group of people are you doing this marketing for? Now, this is a little bit of a strange one, but often with some of my clients, they have a small customer base. It might be a customer base that they know personally or quite personal for their organization because of the nature of the products and services they offer. They will say, actually, let's focus on our client base. Let's make our Christmas marketing is going to be about connecting with people who buy our products or services and making them feel special at Christmas. So that's focusing down on loyal, at the group of people that are perhaps loyal to you. It could be, actually, we're going to use Christmas time to reach out to a new audience, to show a new audience what we're all about. So our Christmas marketing is going to be aimed at the audience that we want to reach at the awareness stage. So decide which group or groups of people is your Christmas marketing aimed at. What's the purpose of your Christmas marketing? We've got our group of people that we are going to be aiming and focusing on. So what do we want them to think? What do we want them to feel? What do we want them to do or say as a result of our Christmas marketing? So it could be, actually, we want our loyal customers to go, oh, that's nice, and to just feel warm and fluffy and happy about us. Actually, we want our current clients to go, good, I made a right choice with that organization. They were the best solicitors firm, accountancy firm, consultancy firm going. They really get me. And this campaign at Christmas, this gift that they've sent me or this special treat has really ticked the box. So what do you want someone to think, feel, do, or say as a result of your Christmas marketing? How are you going to measure success? And always remember that there are two measurements. There are activity measurements, there are outcome measurements. So activity is measuring what you've done or what you are doing, because of course it is a good idea to measure a campaign as you go along. Have we done everything we need to do? We said that we were going to send out for this campaign 10 tweets a week. We have sent out 10 tweets a week. Great, that's an activity measurement done. What is the outcome going to be? We identified that sending out 10 tweets a week as well as an email, as well as a piece of lumpy mail, what we were hoping for was an uptake in our new service. Has that uptake been achieved? That's the outcome measurement. So sketch down what your activity measurements are going to be, but most importantly, what the outcome measurements should be, and decide when you're going to measure them. So when are you going to switch from measuring your activity measurements to looking at the outcome measurements? It can sometimes be if you measure your outcome measurements too soon, it won't look great. It might be that it takes actually a few weeks to achieve the outcome that you want to achieve. So do bear that in mind too, setting up the campaign and going, right, week one, let's see what the outcome is. Depending on if the outcome is a complicated one or it will take your audience a while to engage with it, then it can take a while to see that outcome measurement come through. So measure your success. Pick your tools. When we launch a Christmas marketing campaign, we need to think which tools are most appropriate. Is it tools that we always use to reach out to this audience because we know them? Are we able to try something a bit different because we are hinging this on a Christmas campaign? Are we going to do something a little bit different? I think the classic is we all know the really, really large organizations that run Christmas adverts and run Christmas campaigns where you might not necessarily see TV advertising from them the rest of the year, but what you will notice is at Christmas, you will definitely see some advertising from the big names like John Lewis, who hinge a lot around the creativity of their Christmas campaign. When you pick your tools that you're going to use, So the tools are the ways that you're going to communicate with your audience. That could be through social media, it could be through sending something out in the post, through newsletters, through press releases. Obviously check, are they in line with your organization's values and brand positioning? Don't go crazy at Christmas. Don't throw things out of the window that you've never done before, which aren't in line with what you're trying to achieve, actually. And I think as an audience, we can feel that jarring when all of a sudden we think, oh, they're now communicating with me via YouTube. I've never seen them do a YouTube video before. Okay, no, it kind of works. Does it work? It kind of, So are the tools that you're choosing relevant to your target customers for this campaign? Relevance is really important when it comes to picking the marketing tools that you're going to use. What's your creative idea hanging on? There's so much that we can hang our creative on at Christmas, but this goes back to what you want your audience to think, feel, do, say, or know as a result of your campaign. So if you're wanting to get that warm, fuzzy feeling, are you going to hang your creative on giving? Are you going to hang it on joy? Are you going to hang it on openness? Perhaps you might hang it on enjoyment. Actually, because of the type of organization you are, you want to focus more on slightly more abstract things that are perhaps less emotive. So you'd like to focus on ice, holly, winter, snow, things that perhaps don't have that emotional resonance because what you're not trying to necessarily create that emotional resonance. It's always a nice place to start when you're thinking about your Christmas campaign of actually what is that kind of creative idea that we're going to hang off? Where does it go? And how does it fit with our brand alignment? So if you're an organization that's known for producing incredibly factual, well-researched pieces of work, do you want to go for something that actually is about happiness and laughter? Now, it might be because you might want to show a different side to your organization and your people at this time of year. Or you might say, actually, for us, it's a little bit more in keeping to focus on calmness and focus on the aspects like winter and holly and snow. So think about your creative idea and have a bit of fun with it, I would suggest. Just think about those words that we associate the Christmas period with. And the winter season, you know, Christmas is in winter. Do you want it to not be a Christmas campaign, to be a winter campaign, for example? So what's your creative idea hanging on? Time frame. When are you going to start your Christmas campaign? When? Are you going to start early November? Are you going to start before that? You start mid-November. When it comes to time frame, particularly for smaller to medium-sized organizations, I think the best thing to think is, what would your customer group, what would your audience expect? Would they be a little bit shocked if they started hearing you seeing you run a campaign related to Christmas in November? Would they be like, oh, that's a bit early? Or would they be, oh yeah, of course they're doing that. That's because everyone else in their industry is doing that. So first of all, think about your audience. Think realistically about what you can do. We're going to look at that in a minute, a kind of reality check. How long do you actually want to run it for? Do you want to run it for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? What else is involved that might affect the time frame? Not just thinking about when you're going to start your Christmas campaign, when's it going to end? Now, I know that you might be thinking, well, Christmas Day. A lot of campaigns don't end on Christmas Day. They carry on. Do you want yours to end on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve or the last working day for your company or organization before Christmas? Or do you want to carry on beyond that? So it might seem like an obvious question, but it isn't. There's actually quite a bit of scope in between. So decide when you're going to start your Christmas campaign and when is it going to end. Let's apply some realism. We can come up with the most amazing Christmas campaign going, where we're going to send out little miniature gifts delivered by elves to all of the people that we want to reach. And we're going to do this in perfect time. And we're not going to take into account the fact that the post goes a little bit funny around about Christmas because it can get really busy. We need to take into account, well, actually, what are the resources that we need? And the resources might include, do we have the envelopes to post them out? Do we have the time to get to the post office? So when we look at men, it's kind of like, what's the human element involved? Do we have just, who has the time to do all of that? That comes under minutes as well, the time to create and implement and manage the Christmas campaign. Every task that is involved in putting it together has a time associated with it. It has skills associated with it. Oh, it's okay, we will just find a bespoke gift. Well, where are you going to find that bespoke gift? Who's going to find that bespoke gift? How much is that going to cost? How much is that going to cost times a few customers, a few clients? If you're running an advertising campaign, is that slot already booked? How much is it going to cost? When's the creative due in? Was the creative due in actually at the end of September? So start applying some of the realism, and the 3 M's is a really good way to say, actually, do we have the people? Do we have the skills? Do we have the resources to do this? Do we have the budget? Do we have the time? Do we have the minutes? And you thought you'd escaped. Sorry, I did really well. Look, I didn't put any Christmas images throughout the whole of this, but here we go. I had to. I mean, we're talking about Christmas. So thank you ever so much for your time. I hope that you found that useful. I'm Cara Stanford, and this is the Marketing Spaces.